What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you another episode of Legendary Battle Strategies. This is a series that I have created to highlight a couple of battles and really go into a deep dive into the mechanics that are taking place and my thought process while the battle is happening. So if you have not checked out any of my previous episodes of this series, make sure to check that out. We discuss a lot of high level and advanced strategies while the game is taking place. So let's jump right into these battles here. So I'm just going to be showcasing two battles today, and these were done in the Retro Cup format. These were still when I was running my team of Zangoose in the lead, and then Defense Deoxys and Medicham in the back. So this first battle is actually up against one of my patrons, Cabana675, and really talented battler. So let's jump right into this game here. So Zangoose into Babarrel. Some people might consider this a neutral matchup because Zangoose has the close combat that can potentially one-shot, but because I am running an ABB team of double counter users in the back, there is no point in me staying in this lead. So I'm just going to instant swap into the Defense Deoxys here. There is a case to be made. Potentially I could stay in here and like store some energy and guarantee that I could win a CMP tie when my Zangoose comes in. But the whole purpose of this double counter user in the back is to bait out a potential ghost in the back. And because I have two better responses to this, I'm just gonna instantly go into the Defense Deoxys. Out comes Cresselia. So my opponent has given me a chance to win switch here. They've given me a chance to win switch advantage because Defense Deoxys into Cresselia is a fairly neutral matchup, especially with my Defense Deoxys having an energy advantage. And if I win switch advantage here, that's very, very favorable because Medicham is a solid response to the Babarrel. So I'm just going to let this Moonblast go through. It's very important that I throw these Rock Slides before the Cresselia gets to these Moonblasts, and right here I don't do that because I was trying to sneak an extra counter through, but to try to avoid the debuff. So potentially I should have thrown that Rock Slide sooner, but I was able to sneak the extra counter through. No extra Psycho Cut goes through on their side, so I'm still ahead in energy, and I'm essentially just going to need to get to one more Rock Slide here. And it'll be very close to doing the trick. Once again, no Psycho Cut goes through, and that's really good for me. Now this is going to leave my Defense Deoxys with very low health, and something is going to come in and be able to farm me down. They bring out Frostlass, so this is the worst case scenario for me. It's very good that I have one switch, but Zangoose, significantly behind in energy, is going to struggle against Frostlass a little bit, and I need to save my Medicham for the Babarrel, obviously. So I get farmed down here, and I make a crucial mistake. I don't throw the Psycho Boost. I really should have thrown the Psycho Boost there. I had enough energy to get to it, but I was trying to go for that Rock Slide, but unfortunately not able to get to that Psycho Boost. If I would have landed that Psycho Boost, it would have put this Frostlass in easier Shadow Claw down range, so definitely a big mistake on my part. But at this point, I obviously have to bring out the Zangoose, but I am behind in energy. I have to shield this Avalanche because it would almost one-shot me, but I'm fully expecting the Babarrel to come in at any moment here, so I need to make sure that I get my Medicham aligned with this. Right here, I do not switch out immediately. I know that the Frostlass already has still some residual energy, and so the way that I can kind of combat this energy and shield disadvantage that I'm at right now is by farming up a little bit more with my Zangoose, because it's really not going to be a fast move beatdown scenario against the Frostlass. The thing that's going to be threatening are the charge moves from the Frostlass. So this water gun damage that I'm taking here does not matter. The energy is more important, and then I'm just going to go straight into my Medicham. I am down a shield, so I'm still thinking in my head, how am I going to get around being at a shield disadvantage with my Babarrel? So I'm just doing counter damage on this Babarrel. I am not throwing any energy at all, because I know that my opponent is going to save the shield for Frostlass. So check this out. I stop attacking. I let the Babarrel take me out because that is perfect farm for my Zangoose. And once again, the water gun damage does not matter. The energy that I get off of this barrel is way more beneficial, because now the Frost Slash is going to come in. I already have 2 Night Slashes loaded. 1 Night Slash will not knock out the Frost Slash, but these additional Shadow Claws will be enough to threaten it. So I throw the first one right there, over farming a little bit more so I can try to go for Fast Move Denial. And I know that Zangoose does win CMP against the Frost Slash. And so I'm going to be able to get to another Night Slash here and take out this Frost Slash. So I'm able to capitalize on the farm that I got with my Zangoose, recognizing how to handle a Frost Slash with loaded energy. Because Frost Slash up in energy, up in shields, very, very difficult to hang with, and Zangoose no longer becomes a counter to Frost Slash if you are not able to kind of counteract that shield advantage they have. So recognizing where you can get a little bit of extra energy and knowing that I win those CMP ties was very, very favorable for me in that match. Good game. And the final match of this video is one of the most difficult games that I have played in a long time, maybe one of the most difficult games that I've ever played. So let's jump right into this and I'll kind of talk through what's going on here. Zangoose into Altaria. Not only is this a bad matchup, but it's one of the worst possible leads that I can see with this backline, because the only way that I can threaten the Altaria is with Rock Slides from Deoxys or Ice Punches from Medicham. Pretty much all the fast move pressure from those 2 Pokemon is non-existent, and if my opponent plays this correctly, Altaria definitely has a lot of play against my team. So I go immediately into the Deoxys, because if there is a Ghost type in the back or a Shadow Claw user in the back, I need to bait it out, and I am hard punished by a Mew. This is a very solid response to my Deoxys, but if my opponent gets a little bit too greedy with their energy management, I can at least force a shield here. The only way I can take out that Altaria is if I have a shield or energy advantage on my Pokemon. So they're always going to let that first Rock Slide through. Makes sense. I get an extra counter. That's good for me. Unless they're running Dark Pulse, I will survive whatever this move is. They go for Surf, and I know that they are going to want to set themselves up where they can farm down my Deoxys and have energy loaded. So I anticipate them shielding this, and they do, because Rock Slide would have been lethal from that range. So I know that they're going to commit to the farm down here, and they actually throw their energy before I get to a move, which is a very smart play, because they did not want to have to commit a shield. But this Mew still has residual energy. So they are going to get the shield back when I bring out my Zangoose, which is not good. I no longer will have that shield advantage, and I've lost Switch, and I have an Altaria, which I have no idea how I'm going to be able to take out here. So I'm going to be able to farm this down. I get a Shadow Claw through. I'm going to no shield this. Because my Zangoose, it doesn't really matter how much health I have on my Zangoose, because I know it's going to be stuck against the Altaria. If I can maintain this shield advantage and bring that onto my Medicham against the Altaria, the Ice Punches will be threatening, and then I can shield at the Sky Attacks, and I'll have a little bit of play there. So I'm going to let this go through. They even go for the Wild Charge, but I still let it go through. Right here, my opponent switches into their Altaria. Incredible play by them. And it is a decently likely chance that they knew my team. I've released videos on it. I've talked about how to play this team, because they saved their Mew anticipating that I have my Medicham in the back. So now I have to throw my Medicham against this Altaria immediately. I still have a shield advantage, which is great for me. My Zangoose is extremely low in health, and I don't have a move stored quite yet. So out comes the Altaria. Their Mew is still healthy enough to put on Shadow Claw pressure on my Medicham and even get shields. So I'm going to have to shield this. I'm going to gauge how much damage this Ice Punch does, because the only way that I can threaten that Mew is if I have energy coming out of this matchup. But that's going to be extremely hard to do. So I throw this Ice Punch. They let it go through. At this point in time, I'm going to throw another Ice Punch and see whether or not they are going to shield this. So I throw this Ice Punch, and they commit their last shield. At this point in time, the only play that I have is to counter down this Altaria and have energy loaded for whatever they might have in the back. So I know that if I have energy loaded coming out of this, an Ice Punch will be lethal on the Mew. I still have no idea what their third Pokemon is, and I essentially have 2 dead Pokemon here, because I'm going to have to shield the Sky Attack. It takes 7.5 turns for the Altaria to get to the Sky Attack. So check this out. Barely able to farm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They were essentially receiving the energy for the Sky Attack right there. My Medicham is very low. I have loaded energy. What are they going to come back in with? They come back in with Mew, and I'm actually going to store the energy on my Medicham instead and immediately go for this Zangoose, because I'm trying to snipe down this Mew with the Shadow Claws or allow them to let me get to the Night Slash to take care of this Mew. I do not want the Shadow Claw damage to register on my Medicham at all because it's too threatening. So I get a couple of Shadow Claws, but they immediately switch into a full health Lantern. I throw the close combat immediately because I want to give this Lantern minimal farm. I really don't want this thing to get a move against my Medicham. So I throw the close combat immediately here. This is going to do a sizable amount of damage to the Lantern. This guarantees that they only get 1 more sparks worth of energy. I farm up even more. I know it takes 7 sparks for the Lantern to get to the Thunderbolt, and so I'm farming up even more because I need to have enough energy to land a Psychic on this and then also get to an Ice Punch against the Mew. So my health is getting extremely low here. I'm farming. I go for the Psychic right on the CMP tie here, and this is going to be just enough to take out the Lantern, but I'm 1 counter away from the Ice Punch. I survive with minimal health, and I'm able to get to this Ice Punch. So this was one of the most difficult matches I've had in a long time. I had to be very careful with my energy management, very careful with not taking in any unnecessary fast move damage when it's hitting for super effective there. But very fun game, and very fun game to kind of watch back. So I hope you all appreciate this content, kind of a shorter video in this series, but hope the lessons are valuable nonetheless. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content, and I'll see you in the next video.